If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is May the 19th, 2022, and today the topic is Lord, use my pain. Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. I hope that you guys had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Man, I can't complain, man. You know what? After I did the juice, I don't think I went back to sleep. It was really quiet around here, and so I started working on the gentleman's book and whatnot. And yeah, I guess my husband got up for work and started doing his thing, and I know NJ woke up a little late because obviously he was up all night the night before. So by the time he did come in, I had gotten like a good chunk of what I was working on done, so the God be the glory for that. And yeah, I mean, outside of that, I pretty much tried to rest, do mom stuff. But standout things was I went out to go run an errand for my husband, and while we were out, I took little man to go get some ice cream. So shout out to Double Scoops Ice Cream here in Lithonia. It was really good. There's a couple of things that wasn't like as expected. Like for example, when we got there, it was like drive through only if you had a car, and I was like, oh, I was looking to park and let him walk up to the ice cream stand and pick what he wanted and stuff like that. But so that was one thing I didn't expect. Then when we got into the drive through, it was like no cash, no cash, and I was intending to use cash. But it was all good. I had I had my card and whatnot. But yeah, we got some ice cream. I ended up parking anyway, just to kind of start to eat my ice cream so it wouldn't melt on me trying to get home with it. NJ really seemed to enjoy himself. And if y'all follow me on social media, then you probably saw some photos from that interaction. But yeah, really little cute mommy and me moment with my son last night. Ended up looking at a lot of our photos and videos over the past few years since he's been on Earth, and I don't know, having all those little reminiscing moments. I don't know if I should start back capturing like every single thing he does again, but yeah, it's really cool to like look back on him being this little tiny baby and to be where he is now, a growing little boy. Shout out to people in my group Unwind Self Care and Sip Spa on Facebook. I know a couple of the ladies shared some baby photos and videos and whatnot of their new additions, and so we shouted them out in the group. Unfortunately, we did have one of our group members had a death in the family, so that is something that we shared in the group as well. And shout out to all the ladies that joined yesterday. We had quite a few people to join the group, so shout out to all of them and everything like that. Hopefully they enjoyed their experience in Unwind Self Care and Sip Spa. Again, it's just something to just encourage us ladies to, don't forget to take time to unwind and have some self-care in the midst of all of our endeavors. And so, yeah, man. So that was yesterday. I don't think too much else to say about that. I mean, I know that I have a couple of things to do today, or at least one thing in particular. But outside of that, we're just gonna be hustling from home and doing what we do, and X, Y, and Z, But kicking off the day with the juice, the juice. So this morning I was very adamant to wake up, right? So when I heard my alarm this morning, I want to say I woke up around 2 or something like that, but then I'm not say made myself go back to sleep, but kind of I did go back to sleep. And so by the time my alarm went off around 4, I was like, okay, get up, make sure you're up. So I not only, I don't think I worked per se, but I got on social media, started scrolling, started waking up, doing the little whole wake up thing. And then I started to listen to my prayer meditation, which I was fully awake for. And actually, it led to the topic for today. It was just a good reminder to, um, I guess, understand that, all things work together for the good of those that love God. Y'all know I add in that little part that says, even though things that we don't understand, um, I know that we're in the midst of tragedies. One of the things I did scroll across this morning was that there was a shooting at or after a graduation, I believe like a high school graduation. Obviously, we know about the shooting that happened over the weekend. I think it was over the weekend in Buffalo, New York. And, all these things happen, right? And we're like, why? Especially when it seems very senseless. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different when someone's defending themselves, something like that, or when someone just senselessly takes someone else's life. Um, which, I mean, this may not be popular, but this is something that came across my mind as I heard the whole, abortion debate and whatnot over the past few weeks. I'm just like, hey, um, not that I think that this would change anything morally, but I would hope that it would help people to see like the perspective to just, I mean, as much as we rant and rave about, well, specific deaths, because I mean, we don't rant and rave about all deaths, just specific ones that we seem to kind of gravitate to or make noise about, right? Because we can tell people all day about human trafficking and the deaths and whatnot that's happening with that, but you don't hear much about it, right? Um, you know, People can talk all day about abortions and the evils of that, right? But we don't hear, well, we hear some people, but we don't hear much. I would say like not an overall group coming against that, right? As being morally wrong, right? So it's like what something that came across my mind, and I know it might sound bad, so y'all can tell me what y'all think. But anyway, I was like, well, if we're gonna go along those lines, right, and not value life or not value all life, then just legalize murder. I know that sounds crazy. I don't think we should do that, obviously, but I mean, people. I mean, it's like I don't know. We pick and choose what life we feel is valuable. Um, People do that with race. People do that with, I guess, age, and all of these different things. And so, I mean, not say not say it's a free for all out here, but yeah, I mean, legalize it all. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go there with it, but then how much life will we have at that point? Because people are already breaking the law, right, by killing each other anyway. People can't go to the grocery store, people can't go to a graduation, people can't go to church. All of these places have been places where people have been attacked. Concerts, all this type of stuff, and it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. But even in the midst of those crazy, horrible situations, right? According to the Bible, all things work together for the good of those that love God. So this topic today is called "Lord, Use My Pain," and I guess that's basically what the prayer meditation had me kind of reflecting on this morning as I was listening to the Soul Space app, like. Um, what things have God used in my life, like the painful situations or the things. And I guess as I was reflecting on that, I was thinking like, well, I know that there's definitely plenty of organizations, right, that have been created to help people. And it might have been inspired by someone's pain, right? Somebody died from cancer, so now there's cancer organizations. Somebody might have experience, unfortunately, things like rape and whatnot. So they may create organizations to help people in that situation. So um, there's a lot of ways that God uses our pain every day. Um, by the grace of God, I don't have things that evil in my personal testimony, but I mean, I see how God has used my personal pain and testimony, um, you know, with the things that I do, right? Um, thus the inspiration of God, sex, and love, thus the inspiration of my book and everything like that. And God can use all things, man, for His glory. And so, uh, let's see what the Bible has to say about that. Let's see what the Bible has to say. So basically, there's a few verses that I came across this morning that I felt led to share. The first one is James 1, 2 through 4. It says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." I mean, I guess, again, I understand when we're going through hard tasks and trials and pain and all that type of stuff. It's like, man, why am I going through this? Or why is this like this? And it doesn't seem fair and everything like that, right? But then we have verses like this. Um, that says like count it all joy when we're going through these types of things. Now, obviously, again, we have to be, spiritually prepared, that next level thinking. We need to be in the word, right, to even have this on our mind when we're going through trials, because I don't think it's most of us, y'all can correct me again. I don't know what every human feels when they go through things, but I would just say I'm assuming, based on like observations and whatnot, that most people, this is not the first thing that comes to their mind, like joy, in the midst of pain. Now, again, unless you are already, your spiritual level is there, you have that relationship with God, you understand that, hey, again, all things work together for the good, X, Y, and Z. This might not be the first thing we think about when we're going through pain. That, what, God is going to use this, count it all joy, um but I would say those of us that read the Bible, I mean, hey, maybe we need to keep this on our hearts and minds. I know even with me, I think I've shared on here multiple times that now when I go through stuff, or now when I feel like I'm in a transition or anything like that, I'm like, okay, Lord, well, what are we doing? What you want me to do? I'm at that place now. Now I can totally remember back in the day, like I wasn't always in this place of being like just okay to just follow God and do whatever. I was questioning. I was like, why? Why am I going through this? Why but this taking so long? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I did all of that, right? I did all of that, and so I'm grateful for growth, right? I'm grateful to be in a place where I'm like, I guess, leaning more towards what the Bible has to say about how we should handle stuff like this. But I guess, if nothing else, I mean, not only hopefully this hopefully encourages you and inspires you on your life in particular, but then I also hope that it would help us to give grace to those who aren't there yet, right? To remember that, what, I wasn't there at one point to fully trust God and to fully, you know, allow Him to use my pain, right? There were sometimes we allowed pain to hurt, just sat in the pain. There's times if we've done that, or I'll talk about me. There's times that I've done that, just sat in my pain or and whatnot. Now, by the grace of God, again, God used things like writing in my journal and um, things like that to kind of help me in the midst of those times. Finding, sending me people that I could talk to and be fully open and honest and transparent with over the years and whatnot. That was a blessing as well to help me in the midst of some of my trials and whatnot that I've went through in my life. But yeah, let's show grace, let's show mercy to those that aren't there yet, because again, we weren't there yet at one point. And but if we are that person, right, then understand that, hopefully this encourages you and inspires you to hear what the word has to say about that. But let me tell y'all something else. Let me see. Psalm 119 and 71. It says, "It is good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn your statutes." again, we got to be at that spiritual place to receive that, right? To say, you know what, Lord, this is good for me to go through this trial. It's good for me to go through this pain to learn his statutes, right? Again, I probably wouldn't be sitting here, right, if I didn't go through whatever pain I went through in the past and learn his ways, to now share this daily inspiration, to hopefully encourage and inspire somebody, and just like that, God can use all things. And again, I know there's terrible things happening and whatnot, but that don't mean it can't be used by God, for good, right? Um, 1 Peter 5:10, it says, yes, and after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. So, I mean, yeah, I guess that's the thing too. Just remember, like anything that we've gone through in life, any painful situation, it was temporary. You know what I mean? I can think back on my life and be like, that was then and then this is now, And so, because you've survived every painful experience in your life, I guess you could say that this verse is true. Those that believe, I find this verse to be true in my life that, I've suffered a little while, but God has, you know, again, use these experience, use this testimony and all these things for his glory. He's restored me, he's confirmed me, he's strengthened me and established me. And I hope that you all, when we think about this, can make not say make this to your testimony, but understand that this is also your testimony. Because if you're here, right, and you've been here more than one day, then that means you survived whatever experience that you've had in your life too. And so yeah, that's the juice, y'all. That's the juice this morning. I hope that it encourages you and inspires you. There's a few verses in the Go Deeper section for you to all peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today is Revelations 4:11. It says, "Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspirational juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Y'all know that tomorrow's Friday, and so that means a new episode of God, Sex, and Love Talk Show will be going live at 7 p.m., and that is a chat with Mr. Alan Taylor. Really cool author that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I hate to misquote, but I believe that he reached out to me on the Anchor app. Like, he sent me a voicemail on there. So, man, it lets me know that people is out here listening, man, and stuff. He sent me a message there, and that's how he became a guest on the show. So, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I mean, y'all want to be a guest? I mean, it's super easy. All you got to do is, hit me up. Leave a message, inbox me, email me at godsexandlove@gmail.com. I think this is on here. For those that may be watching the live version, yeah, just email, whatever like that. It's that simple, there's nothing in particular. That's it. So if you want to be on God, Sex, and Love Talk Show, just hit your girl up. But that will be going live tomorrow at 7 p.m. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hello, charmers. Visit ttcboutique.com for the latest in fashion and accessories. Twice the Charm, the source of women clothing.